Okay, so in this presentation, I'm just going to run through with you how you can work out your own personalized calories and macros. Now, we can help you do this, but obviously it's a good idea to be able to learn how to do it yourself, and then you can progress moving forward, and you can adjust once you understand how and what it is that you're meant to be doing. So let's get into it. So the first things first, you're going to need to work out your resting metabolic rate. So your resting metabolic rate is basically just what you would do if you were to just lie in bed all day 24/7 without doing much, basically just breathing. So this would be, obviously as it suggests, resting metabolic rate, otherwise known as your metabolic rate. So body weight in kilos times by 22. So if you're a 100 kilo person, just for easy figures, times that by 22 gives you 2,200 calories. Okay, so what we're going to then do is times that number by an activity factor, because we're not just going to be laying in bed 24/7. We're going to be up and about, moving, training, doing some kind of steps, fidgeting, going to the toilet, eating, all that kind of thing. So we need to add on an activity factor. So how do we do that? There's many different ways that we can do this, and there's different calculators that you can use off the internet, and this is one that we find to be as accurate as you're going to get, and we do it off the amount of steps that you do in a particular day. So for instance, if you do under 5,000 steps, you're going to times that number by 1.1. If you do 5,000 to 9,999, you times it by 1.3. If you do 10,000 to 12,500, you times it by 1.5. If you do 12,000 and over, you've got a serious manual job and you're doing loads of training, then you would times it by 1.8. So we're going to use the example of 10,000 steps, 10 to 12,000. So 2,200 from step 1 times by 1.5 equals 3,300. Okay, on to the next step. Now then, we need to work out our calorie deficit. So once we've got that overall figure, that's how many calories that you would need, and then we do a reduction of those calories by 20, 30 or 40%, which should then put us in a deficit to lose weight. All right, so this is example number 3. So the figure from before, 3,300, I would always advise that you start off on a moderate deficit first to begin with, and you would speak to your coach about this. You don't want to go too big too soon, because you want to start off as high as possible with your calories. You want to make sure that you can still enjoy your food and still enjoy your training and still have enough energy to train and get the best out of training. So you don't want to go too big on your deficit too soon, which is what a lot of people make a mistake when getting started. So start off at around 20%. So you're going to times that figure from before, 3,300 times by 0.8 will give us 2,640 calories. So that's your overall calories for your deficit. All right, so the example goes like this. So from step 1, 100 kilos times 22 gives us 2,200. We're going to go for 10,000 steps. So 2,200 times by 1.5 gives us 3,300. And then our step 3 is a moderate deficit of 20%. 3,300 times 0.8 equals 2,600 calories. So that is our calorie goal for the day, all right, to be in a calorie deficit and for us to be able to lose weight. Now then, the next step, what we want to do is figure out our goal. Now we're big fans of flexible dieting. So what we want to make sure is that you have 2 rules to stick to if you want to live a flexible, balanced lifestyle. Okay, so number 1, you need to stay within your calorie goal, and number 2, you need to hit a protein target of roughly around 1 gram per pound of body weight, or 2 grams per kilo. Okay, so once you've worked out your calorie goal, we want to set up MyFitnessPal. So once you've downloaded MyFitnessPal, you go in and you go into the settings, and we're going to add in the calories that you've worked out from step 1, 2, and 3. And then what we're going to do is change the macro settings. So we want to be slightly higher on protein. We would always advise 40% and then 30% for your carbs and fats. Now, as long as you stick to the 2 rules, stay within your calories, and you hit your protein goal, 1 gram per pound of body weight minimum. If you change the settings to 40, 30, 30, chances are you're going to hit that no problem. The carbs and fats don't necessarily matter so much, so that gives us the ability to be flexible with your diet plan. As long as you hit your protein and as long as you stay within your calories, then you can be a little bit more flexible with your carbs and fats. That means you can add in some treats, some desserts, and you can add in some alcohol and stuff like that as well, maybe, as long as you stay within your calories and you hit your protein goal. Okay, that is your priority. 2 rules. That's all you need to do. So once you've done that, to give you an idea, a 100 kilo person would roughly need about 200 grams of protein. Now again, as long as you're sticking within those calories and hitting your protein goal, then you have some flexibility and freedom then to eat some other things that you might want or that you might fancy. That way you are more likely to adhere to your diet, more likely to adhere to your training, and more likely to enjoy and stick to your plan long term without feeling like you're on a diet or like it's a chore. Okay, so get that set up, have a play around. If you need any help, give us a shout.